Hello, hi, it's been a hot minute. Hello, welcome. My name is Alexandre, but everyone calls me MA. And I've been kind of a little MIA. I was like super active on YouTube and then I just been posting shorts because, great news, we just bought a house. Yay! So that's what we've been dealing with. And a bunch of, it's like, bam, we're adults. So that's what we've been dealing with. And I'm a little stressed with life in general because it's kind of normal, you know. So today, I thought it would be a great idea to get back into reading Moby Porcelain, a memoir by Moby. So we are at chapter 5. Can you believe it? And I believe these chapters are pretty small, so it shouldn't be that too long of a video. And if you haven't seen the other ones and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I made a playlist. I will put it in the description down below. You can check it out and let's get right into it. Yeah, so it's just me reading chapter 5 of Moby Porcelain. And today is Garbage-Filled Shaftway. Ooh. Last time, I believe, we found out how he would buy records and he had moved from his factory to New York City. And I have a feeling it's going to have to do with his apartment, but let's see. All right, so get comfortable. I'm on my bed once again. Not because I've been a little sickly. I've been very nauseous lately, but I don't know if it's my nerves or what's going on, but anyways, let's read this book. Chapter 5, Garbage-Filled Shaftways. The Friday night crowd streamed in as soon as Mars opened its doors at 10 p.m. I started DJing on the first floor when the doors opened, but the evening got interesting around midnight when some of the voguing houses from uptown took over. That's so cool. Have you ever watched Legendary? Love it. I would have loved to be alive for the actual voguing and ball scenes. Voguing was in the middle of a bizarre mainstream push from Madonna's single Vogue, but it had started years ago. The Voguers were gay men, Black and Latino, who would march proudly up and down the dance floor, turning it into their own ad hoc fashion runway. Voguing wasn't really a dance, but rather a beautiful approximation of an idealized fashion show. That's such a good description. Describing the phenomenon to a friend who drummed in a speed metal band, I told him that voguing houses weren't actual buildings. It's more like House of Chanel or House of Dior, I said. They're inspired by French fashion houses. So they make clothes? He asked. No, I said and tried to explain again. Actually, if you don't know what voguing is, I will insert a clip from Legendary.
You ready for this?
Hold up. Voguing is an expression. It's supposed to be about passion, family, drama.
But also, now I shall insert a clip of back in the 80s of the voguing stuff.
Dip, spin, fold, dip, pull, turn it out. Voguing came from shade because it was a dance that two people did because they didn't like each other. Instead of fighting, you would dance it out on the dance floor, and whoever did the better moves was throwing the best shade, basically.
No touching, neither one of you. If you touch, I'm chopping you.
It was like they would make houses which were like families and then they compete, which, anyways, we'll see if we'll explain it more. Oh, I don't think so. But anyways, I did a bunch of videos of me and my bestie reacting to voguing, so check that out too. Let's get back into the story. No more battling around. It's been so long since we've talked. I missed you guys. Just after midnight on Friday, I was playing house records for the beautiful voguing queens when my friend Manuel ran into the DJ booth. Manuel was a busboy by night and a drag queen by other nights. At Mars, he wore black pants and a black t-shirt and carried plastic trays filled with empty beer bottles and soggy cigarette butts. On his nights off, however, he became Carla, a delicate Latina drag queen with a long cigarette holder and dark eyes rimmed with kohl. Last month, I'd gone to a drag queen club near Times Square to see Carla perform. She stood on the small stage and donned an elegant, languorous rendition of Bali Hay. After the show, I said, "That was great. You're so beautiful." Carla had battered her eyes, kissed me on the cheek, and walked away in a trail of perfume. Now, as Manuel the busboy, he was in my DJ booth yelling, "Yo, Moby, you got Willi Ninja on your floor." Willi Ninja was his god.
I'm Willi Ninja, the mother of the House of Ninja.
Give him what he wants.
I'm the mother of the house of Ninja because they say I'm the best voguer out. To be the mother of the house, you have to have the most power. Take a real family. It's the mother that's the hardest worker, and the mother gets the most respect.
Our goddess, Willi Ninja, ran one of the most famous voguing houses in New York. And to have him and his house voguing while I was DJing felt like a formal benediction. Mars was a demographically and musically complicated place. Last night, when I had been DJing on the second floor, Kool Keith and the ultramagnetic MCs had taken the mic and drunkenly and flawlessly freestyled over hip-hop tracks. Tonight, Willi Ninja and his house were strutting down the middle of the floor to house tracks, their heads held high and their cheekbones like switchblades. While they vogued, I played Love is the Message by MFSB. The crowd cheered and Willi Ninja beamed at me from across the room. I was straight, but he was so beautiful and his smile was so wide. At that moment, I would have married that man. The night went on. The dance floor stayed packed, and at 4 a.m. I ended my set with Set It Off by Strath. In front of me was a happy, sweaty sea of people, black, Latino, white, Asian, straight, gay. The song ended, and the work lights came on, and everyone stumbled out of Mars and into the bewildering city. When I got home around 5 a.m., I read some of Arthur C. Clarke, curled up in my tiny bed and tried to sleep. And then someone in the building opposite ours, a drug den, started screaming from the third floor. "Fuck you!" he yelled, his voice slurred. "Fuck you, I'm gonna do it!" I shut my window to keep the sound of his yelling, which also had the advantage of reducing the stink of the garbage outside. The shaftway between our buildings and the drug den next door was about 4 feet wide and filled with garbage at least a yard high. Rotting boxes, food scraps, aluminum cans, a mannequin, a suitcase. I asked my landlord why he couldn't clean it up. He said that it was the shaftway technically belonged to the building next door. And since it was a drug den, the shaftway never got cleaned. And because it never got cleaned, everybody in our building and the drug den kept throwing trash out their windows and filling up the shaftway higher and higher. "You, I'm gonna do it!" The person next door kept yelling over and over, "Shut up!" Someone in our building yelled. Another sleepy voice echoed, "Shut the f*** up! F you, I'm gonna do it!" The man shouted for about the 200th time, and then he did it. I heard a woman scream as the yelling man fell 3 stories down the shaftway. As he fell, he had time to make a strange grunting sound, and then he landed with a sickening crunch. I jumped out of bed and opened my window. 2 feet away, lying face up in the pile of garbage, was a bloody, moaning man. A woman was screaming, "Anton! Anton!" from one of the drug den's windows. "Are you okay?" I asked Anton. He moaned, his body's lips moving but not making a words. "Hold on, I'm calling 911. When I got through, I told the operator, speaking quickly and very loudly, that a man had jumped out of a building and landed in the shaftway next to my apartment. I could hear the operator smoking a cigarette and exhaling. "What's the address?" she asked. "Ord." I gave her my address and told her I'd be there to let the emergency workers in. The woman next door was yelling, "Anton! Anton!" I stuck my head out the window and yelled back, "He's alive! The EMTs are on their way." Someone else in the building replied, "Shut up!" Wow, it's a vibe. Last page of the chapter. And another person bellowed, "I'm trying to sleep! Shut up! A guy is dying here!" I told them. One of the voices responded, "Shut the F up!" The quality of mercy is especially strained when people are trying to sleep, even if a human being is dying in the garbage a few feet away from them. "Anton?" I asked. "Can you hear me? Are you okay?" He just moaned. "The ambulance is coming," I said. "Hold on." He moaned again. He was damp from blood or perspiration or drizzling rain, or all three. He looked like he was sweating oil. After a few minutes, our apartment buzzer sounded. "EMTs!" a voice shouted through the static, heavy intercom. I let them in, and the 3 of them came down the hallway carrying an aluminum gurney. I took them downstairs, opened the back steel emergency door, and led them into the shaftway. As I went back inside, they were walking across the garbage with their gurney. When I got back into my bedroom, I looked through the window. They were checking Anton's vitals and shining a pen light into his unfocused eyes. I leaned out the window and asked, "Is he going to be okay?" One of the EMTs laughed. "Yeah, garbage saved his life." "What do you mean?" "If the shaftway was clean, he would have landed on concrete. He'd be dead." They strapped Anton to the gurney and wheeled him into the waiting ambulance outside. And all was quiet. Nobody was screaming. I looked up the shaftway between the buildings and could see a faint gray of dawn. Bum, bum, bum. And that's the end of chapter 5. That was a really short chapter. I promised myself I wouldn't do 2 chapters, even if they were short, in a row. So that is all for today. That was so interesting. I did not know that he was, technically he saw the voguing scene. That's really cool. I hope you like this video. If you do, let me know by liking and subscribing. I'm going to be posting more paint and chats and reading Moby and maybe some more shorts. I'm not sure yet. Life is getting pretty busy, so let me know if you like this, because if you do, I'll definitely keep going. Thank you for being here. Please be easy on yourself. Times are tough, but the weather, if you live in my area up north, is getting better, so go outside. And if life really sucks, don't forget, you have the power to change your playlist. So if life sucks, switch the playlist. Change what you're listening to. If you don't know what that means, one day you'll understand. Trust me. All right. Bye. Thank you. And yeah, we bought a house. Woo-hoo! We've been trying for like 3 years. This is really good news. Bye.